Manchester United are finally looking like a top Premier League team again.
I've got a big smile on my face, ladies and gents, and I'm sure you have too, after watching United beat Sunderland pretty comfortably. A good, I would say a top team performance.
Against Sunderland, they showed a version of themselves that fans have been waiting months to see, a team with rhythm, intensity and purpose. Ruben Amorim didn't reinvent the wheel or make massive tactical changes, but what he did was enough to reignite the fire inside Old Trafford. From the first whistle, United pressed with hunger. Without the ball, they were fierce. With it, they were efficient. Amad Diallo was electric. Bruno Fernandes delivered a captain's performance in the first half, and Brian Mbeumo looked reborn. For once, everything clicked: movement, tempo, confidence. But the real headline, Senna Lammens. The young goalkeeper delivered a performance that was nothing short of spectacular, commanding in the air, calm under pressure, and decisive when Sunderland pushed forward. It was his best display yet. And one that might just cement his place as United's number one for the rest of the season. Mason Mount also deserves a special mention. After months of inconsistency, he reminded everyone of the player Chelsea once built, around smart, energetic and creative. And at the top, Benjamin Šeško finally looked like the elite centre-forward United have been searching for. Powerful, sharp and ruthless in the box. But beneath the strong performances, there was something even more fascinating, a tactical breakthrough that could change the direction of United's season. Amorim's side unveiled what could become the Premier League's secret weapon this year, the long throw. It sounds simple, almost primitive in a world obsessed with positional play, but it worked like a charm. The chaos it caused inside the box exposed Sunderland's defensive structure and gave United an entirely new dimension in attack. This win doesn't mean all problems are solved. Amorim still faces enormous pressure. But for the first time in months, there's a sense of belief, a feeling that maybe, just maybe, the formula to win consistently has finally been found.
Our moments, but if you look at the performance, was a team. Focus, defending well, trying to kill the game in the second half. So I'm pleased with that, and now is to move forward to the next one.
So what exactly is this new formula? And why could it make Manchester United one of the most dangerous teams in England again? Let's break it down. One of the biggest tactical stories of this new Premier League season has been the return of an old-school weapon, the long throw-in.
Here last season, JJ Okocha, who got 2 goals in that 4-1 win, throws in. Davis is there!
It sounds simple, it looks primitive, but make no mistake, it's becoming one of the most effective attacking tools in modern football. Manchester United, however, were late to the party. Before this weekend, Amorim's side had only attempted 20 long throws since the start of last season, and not a single goal had come from any of them. Zero success, zero threat. It was a forgotten part of their game. That changed completely against Sunderland. Amorim finally pulled the trigger on the tactic that's taking over Europe, and the results were immediate. We saw United use it 3 times in a row last weekend against Brentford when chasing an equaliser, but it was only a glimpse of what was coming. The most memorable moment came late in the match when Diogo Dalot launched a monstrous throw into the box and Matthijs de Ligt flicked it on, creating absolute chaos.
Collins, de Ligt!
Now Dalot looks like United's designated trebuchet, the one trusted to launch those aerial bombs into the box. And it's working. For the second goal against Sunderland, Dalot hurled another perfect long throw right into the 6-yard box. De Ligt knew exactly what to do. He made his run across the near post, dragged 3 defenders with him and forced a mistake. In the scramble, Nordi Mukiele accidentally deflected the ball, and Benjamin Šeško, who had held his position brilliantly, pounced and scored with ease. This might look like Sunday League football, but it's anything but. The long throw has become a calculated, data-driven weapon. In the modern game, it's not about luck, it's about geometry, timing, and anticipation. Amorim and his coaching staff clearly worked on positioning, second ball reactions, and the runs inside the box. And the truth is, this isn't just a Manchester United thing. Across Europe, the 2020s have become the decade of set pieces. Corner goals are back in fashion, teams are copying rugby-style kickoff patterns, and throw-ins are now being treated like mini free kicks. Just look at the numbers. In the first 6 match days of the 2025/26 Premier League season, 1 in every 4 attacking third throw-ins has been launched into the box, double the rates from last year. It's a clear sign of where football is heading. Even the biggest clubs have embraced it. Arsenal used 11 long throws in their Champions League semi-final second leg against PSG last May, proof that even the most tactical, possession-heavy sides now see value in chaos. So when Amorim joined that party, it wasn't by accident, it was by design. The question now is, can Manchester United master this new weapon before everyone else does? The real jewel of this Manchester United performance wasn't just the win itself, it was how the £200 million attack finally exploded into life. For the first time this season, every piece of Amorim's frontline clicked perfectly, and Old Trafford saw what this team is truly capable of. Benjamin Šeško was outstanding not only for his goal, but for everything he did off the ball. Watch that move closely. The number 9 dropped deep, dragging Sunderland's entire defensive line up to midfield. That run opened space behind them. Casemiro spotted him early and played the pass through the middle. With one touch to control and another to release, Šeško played a brilliant two-touch switch to Amad Diallo on the right-hand side. Amad, electric as ever, drove forward with speed and power, cutting inside before unleashing a fierce shot that forced a massive save from Robin Roofs. This single sequence summed up United's new identity: fluid, fast and fearless. But Šeško wasn't the only one shining. Brian Mbeumo is turning the right wing into an absolute nightmare for defenders. The chemistry he's building with Amad Diallo is pure dynamite. Their timing, understanding and rotations are spot on. One goes wide, the other cuts in. One dribbles, the other overlaps or drops back to receive. This constant movement makes United's right flank unpredictable and lethal. Both players can create and both can finish. That's what makes them so dangerous. Amad's quick feet and acceleration open up gaps, and Mbeumo's powerful strikes and vision punish defences that hesitate even for a second. And it didn't take long to prove it. In the opening goal, Amad started wide on the right, stretching Sunderland's shape. Mbeumo instantly recognised the cue, drifting just ahead of him, positioning himself perfectly to receive. Amad darted inside, cutting toward the half space, before sliding a clever pass forward. Mbeumo, calm and composed, took a touch, looked up, and with a couple of sharp feints created the lane he wanted. His cross was inch-perfect curling, right into the heart of the box. Waiting there was Mason Mount floating just at the edge of the D. Mount's first touch was exquisite, his second, clinical. He placed it past the keeper with the precision of a world-class midfielder. It was a stunning goal, a perfect illustration of how Amorim's expensive attack can combine creativity, movement and finishing in one fluid sequence. This is what £200 million of offensive power looks like when it's synchronised, a system finally clicking into gear.
The mobility in the front areas now is something, as a defender, I'm looking at and I'm thinking differently about Manchester United's front line. I'll be sitting there going, I'm going to have a physical presence up there. I'm going to have a physical test from all three positions, and I've got people that can run and move up there. They're mobile. They're the things I was asking for the last couple of years.
But there's a twist in the story. One man had to make way for this balance. Matheus Cunha, a regular starter, was dropped to the bench, replaced by Mason Mount in the lineup. And now the question every fan is asking, should Mason Mount start more games? His inclusion paid off instantly. That goal not only justified Amorim's decision, but also reignited United's belief. It was their first Premier League goal since Amorim's debut match, and arguably the most beautiful of the season. Mount has always been one of Amorim's trusted players, and his performance showed exactly why. But with such a high-priced frontline ahead of him, Mount's role has often been limited to a backup position, even covering as a left-sided midfielder in recent weeks. He's simply too talented and too complete to stay on the sidelines. And now, after a display like this, the competition for United's attacking spots is officially wide open. Senna Lammens, remember the name? For weeks, fans at Old Trafford had been crying out for a change between the sticks. Altay Bayınder's time as starter had been inconsistent, full of hesitation and costly mistakes. So when Ruben Amorim finally decided to hand the gloves to Senna Lammens, the €21 million signing from Royal Antwerp, there was pressure, expectation and doubt. But what followed was a breath of fresh air, something Manchester United supporters hadn't seen in far too long. An assured, calm, confident performance from their goalkeeper. From the very first minute, Lammens looked composed. His presence alone gave the backline a sense of security. And then came that moment he showed his sharp reflexes, getting down quickly to stop a thunderous strike from Granit Xhaka. that was curling toward the far corner. His timing, positioning and reaction speed looked world-class. And then, in the dying minutes, with the scoreline still narrow and tension through the roof, Kemsdine Talby broke through and fired low, but Lammens was ready. A clean, controlled save, pushing the ball out of danger and sealing the first clean sheet of the season for Manchester United. Yes, there were a few shaky moments, a slight hesitation when rushing out of his box, a couple of risky touches under pressure, but that's part of the learning curve for any goalkeeper making his Old Trafford debut. What truly mattered was his control of the area, his distribution, and the calm energy he transmitted to the defence. For once, the defenders could focus on their jobs without worrying about what was happening behind them. And that changed everything. If this performance was a preview of what's to come, then Amorim might just have found his next great pillar, the silent wall that every top team needs. A clean sheet, confidence restored, and Old Trafford finally cheering for their goalkeeper again. That's the real story here. This win was more than just 3 points. It was a statement that Manchester United are alive again. The first big takeaway.
At home, but we need to perform. And I'm not talking about the result, but we need to perform in the same way at home and away.
The partnership between Amad Diallo and Brian Mbeumo. It's growing stronger every match, and soon, this duo could turn United's right flank into one of the most feared zones in the Premier League. Secondly, Bruno Fernandes reminded everyone why he wears the armband, his leadership, his pressing, and that near world-class strike. This was the captain's performance United have been waiting for. Then there's Benjamin Šeško, who finally delivered his first back-to-back for the club. And even more important, the movement, link-up and confidence of a true number 9. He didn't just score, he made the whole attack work.
But the important thing is every time we kick the ball today, he was there. Every ball. And that is, for me, it's the most important thing. Then we have to build up, because in this kind of club he needs to perform.
Brian Mbeumo again deserves massive credit. He's proving every week that he's one of the best signings United have made in years. Unpredictable, explosive, and practically unplayable when in full flow. Behind them, Senna Lammens marked his debut with a clean sheet, United's first of the season. Composed, brave and calm under pressure. That's exactly what Amorim's defence needed.
I think Senna did a great job, give us confidence. So it was a good day, not a perfect day, but to win like this, clean sheet, is important for our team.
And finally, the timing of this victory couldn't be better. Winning right before the international break gives United breathing room, belief and momentum. For Amorim, it's not just a win, it's validation. His tactical tweaks, his 4 major changes, his faith in the new faces all paid off. This wasn't luck, it was a plan working to perfection. Manchester United looked like a Premier League giant again, organised, hungry and ruthless. And if this version of Amorim's team keeps evolving, this might just be the turning point of their entire season.